today's video, I'm going to replace the auger belt on this Yardworks 2-stage snowblower. Luckily, I have saved the instructions for this. I've had the snowblower for years. I will put a link down below to a video I made years ago on how to operate this snowblower. So the first thing I'm going to show you is what happens when the auger belt is defective. It should operate the blades, and the handle over on the left-hand side is what will engage the auger. So I'm just going to start the unit up and show you what happens. We are going to have to upend the snowblower onto the auger housing, like tip it up, and we're supposed to run the snowblower until it is out of fuel. However, there was a fair bit of fuel in it, so I took a turkey baster and sucked the fuel out of it. We have to remove this plastic cover on the front of the engine here. There used to be two bolts, one there and one over here, that held this on. You can see that over the years, at some point I was working on this and the bolts got lost. So I had put a tie wrap on here. We'll just cut that off. Once you have your bolts out, or in my case, the tie wrap, this cover will come off like so. And we can see our badly worn auger belt here. That is in hurting shape. That's why the auger wouldn't operate, because this thing got hot, semi-melted, and stretched. We have to remove these two bolts, which keep the guide belt in place. They are 13 millimeter in this case. I've adjusted our plan. We're here changing the auger belt, and the drive belt is right behind it, and that looks pretty worn too. So I'm going to replace that while we're at it. Just had a little look at our instructions, and we would have had to take this off to get here. So while we're here, so what we do is pivot this wheel like that, and you can see the drive belt is I'm just going to pull that off. I don't think I can keep my camera rolling while I'm going to do that. But what you got to know is just pull this pulley forward here. That keeps tension on the belt, and then slip the belt off of there. The drive belt just slipped easily off of the pulley. When you pivot the snowblower onto the auger housing, get somebody to help you with it, because I almost lost control of it. The only thing that stopped it is my generator that you can see in back there. So get another set of hands involved. I'm going to remove the frame cover, which in this case is 10 millimeter screws. If you're not familiar with using ratchets and sockets like this set, I don't know if you can see that set I have there. I will put a link down below this video to a video I have of using ratchets and sockets. We have to remove this shoulder bolt, which is a belt keeper, for our auger belt, and once we loosen that off, we'll remove this spring. This is a 19mm bolt here. According to our instructions, we should be able to get that auger belt out of there now. The auger belt had slipped back on to the pulley up front here, unbeknownst to me, so I just pulled it off of that, and theoretically should come out. There we go. So we're gonna lift that. So there's our auger belt. Let's get that drive belt off too. And that is back on the pulley too. Okay, maybe we'll try it from this side. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I push that drive belt ahead. That gets it off of the pulley. And see if that's gonna come out of there. Okay, I'll check the instructions, make sure this should come out of there. Well, let's see here. We're almost there. Let's see what happens. Aha. There we go. So, there's our two belts. I'm going to go off to a Yardworks dealer. I'll find one in my area, and we'll finish this job off. I bought my two new belts. They cost approximately $60 for the two of them, Canadian. And I really hope they're the right size, because since I started this job, we got dumped on in Nova Scotia. I have my two belts in place. You may have to mess around a little bit to get them up through to where our pulleys are over there. The auger belt was a bit more of a challenge. I just lifted this up and couldn't quite get it through, so I took this copper bar, put a bit of leverage on it, then pushed the auger belt up through. And now what I'm gonna do is, I'll show you here. I put the belts on the pulleys here first, then I'm going to put the auger belt pulley on, or a belt I should say, on the pulley down below where we just discussed. Then I'm going to stand the unit up and I'll put the tensioners in place. So you're still going to slip this belt onto the pulley there. And now I have the auger belt over the pulley. Again, I got it in place and then used the bar to kind of just push the belt over that way, and it slipped onto the pulley. Now I'm going to stand this unit up and we'll get those tensioners around the belts. All right, drive belt is wrapped around the tensioner there, auger belt around its tensioner. So theoretically, this should be ready to go, but I'm going to start it. I didn't put the cover on the bottom of the engine yet, so I'm going to fire it up, see if this seems to be working properly, and then I'll tip the blower up one more time, put that case cover on. Now that everything seems to be working properly, I've reinstalled my bolt here, put the spring back on this tensioner there. I'm going to put this bolt and reinstall that, and then I will put the cover back on this piece. Then we'll throw a little bit of snow. Cover has been reinstalled. I've reinstalled that bracket here that goes over the belts, and I'll put the cover back on. I think I mentioned earlier that used to have a couple of bolts there, but I'll put it on with tie wraps and we should be done. I am really glad that that was the correct belt, because that was a lot of snow. Anyway, snowblower is working great now. I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.